Hello, folks. Welcome to another edition of Catch Up with Mayo on a Saturday at 4 p.m. And here I am to talk to you, see what's up with you folks. If you have any questions about the channel, anything you want to ask about what's going on lately, anything likes, dislikes, stuff you want to see, stuff you want to talk about that you've done or things you've bought, or anything, programming here, because there's always things going on here and some changes lately and some different things I've been trying out here. So lots to talk about. I'm just checking my channel now because I'm getting messages here. I'll text somebody this. There you go. If you're watching, I texted you. Okay. So what's going on, everybody? We only have a few people here right now at the moment. So we're going to wait to see if we get more. Gary's here. Hello, Joe. I had to shovel the drive and walkways again today. It looks nice, but I've had enough for this year. You're telling me. Well, it snowed here today, but it was, kind of a light snow. At times, the snowflakes were big snowflakes, but light. And no accumulation, but a lot of wetness. And when I wound up going out to the stoop outside, even though I have a sufficient awning on my doorstep, I had a package from Amazon and it was left right out where it could get wet. Luckily, what was inside the package was not hurt in any way. But there you go. Hello, Darren. You missed me. I didn't go anywhere. How could you have missed me? I didn't go anywhere. Trying to keep up with your videos and live streams, but I'm behind. There's so much content. Yeah, that's true because I have 3 channels, 3 channels. And we know that, and I'll be talking about that, of course, promoting the other 2 channels, again, because I'm putting stuff on all 3 channels. As I often say, if you're interested in watching my videos and you like the stuff I do and you want to branch out a little bit, with Mr. Mayo, there are 3 tiers, so to speak. You have this channel, then you have my movie and television channel and nostalgia channel, which, of course, as you know, is called Mr. Cinemayo. There it is. Please subscribe to Mr. Cinemayo. And you never know what's going to be on what channel because I do different things on different channels and I show different items that I purchased. Today I purchased a good amount of stuff and fun stuff. Some of it will be on Mr. Cinemayo and some of it will be right here where you are now. I mean, Mr. Mayo. I got some good bargains today. Boy, did I get some good bargains. And I'll be showing them and I'll make a video pretty soon. Got a couple of videos coming up on this channel. Don't forget also that the other channel, the 3rd tier, is my 3rd channel right there. And it's called Mayo Loves Mondays. That's about lifestyle, trying to get healthier, retirement, rants, things that piss us off in life. If you have anything out there that irks the shit out of you and you want to laugh a little bit and say, I hate when that happens. I can relate to that. The rant videos, although I still have some rant videos here on this channel, the rant videos are now always, from this point on, going to be over there. The only rant videos I keep here now, from now on, are going to be rant videos associated with music or things relating to this channel. But most of the rants about life are over there. So please join the Mayo trilogy. And I was saying for a while, the Mayo triad or triad. Triad? I think it's triad. Then I saw that was like some kind of a crime thing. So I don't really use that anymore. The Mayo trilogy. All right. So let's see. Hello, George. Always good to see you. Thank you for saying hi. Hello, Douglas. Hello, Joe F. Vinyl is where it's at just for now. Tomorrow will be CDs and 8-tracks followed by cassette. It's amazing how collectors' interests keep changing. Yes, and guess what? As of today, I'm back to CDs. And that's what I want to talk about. I'm going to tell a little story. Today, I picked up a whole nice set of Frank Sinatra CDs on Capitol, the Capitol CD collection. And I'll tell you how that happened in a minute here. Just let me take this banner down for now. Okay. Well, I'm going to make a video about all this too. Just watch all my videos and you'll see it all. Um, I wanted to sell off some John Lennon. You heard me right. John Lennon CDs. I had 6 John Lennon CDs. They were from Japan. 6 Japanese John Lennon CDs with obi strips. I bought them just to have, not to play. I'm not going to do anything with them. I had them for years and years. I didn't do anything with them. Just sitting around. Like so much stuff. But I figured, well, maybe I could get some money for them. So I'll tell the story more in a video later on. It's going to be short here. I'm not going to make it too long. But basically, I went to a store and I found a Frank Sinatra box set that had, I think, 14 Capitol albums in the CD set of box set, black box. And I was able to trade in the discs for that. It didn't cost me anything for the Sinatra box, nothing. And also I got another box set of Frank Sinatra with it. So I got the Frank Sinatra Capitol CD set, plus another Sinatra thing. Actually, it was the V recordings, which I think maybe even before Columbia. I don't think they're too good. They're the 78 RPM recordings. I think V is the box set. Some people will know what that is. All just in trade for those 6 Lennon discs, and they weren't worth anything. The Lennon discs, those Lennon CDs were not worth anything. Don't think I got rooked because I didn't. I went to 2 stores. One store only offered me $25 for the 6 of them altogether, which I wasn't going to take, and the other store was a little more. But in the end, we just swapped. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. There you go. There you go. Hello, Curtis. Hello. My interests remain the same. Vinyl, CDs, 45s, and picture sleeves. Yeah, I still love all of that. I mean, and not only that, I did buy vinyl today. I bought a Frank Sinatra vinyl album. I'm not going to talk. I have a video coming tomorrow that shows you a CD I bought, but you'll see. You'll see. Anyway, I found a Capitol. It wasn't the what's the original label? Capitol album. Only the Lonely sings for the Lonely, or Only the Lonely. It wasn't an original gray label, the light gray, or it wasn't that, the vinyl. It was the black label of Capitol with the rainbow around it. So it was not the first press, but it was in the shrink from 1958 or whatever it came out, 1960, 61, 2, whatever it came out. And it was in great shape. So I did manage to get that. And of course, yeah, the Capitol, everybody says the Capitol years are the best for Sinatra. I don't know if I'm going to like the Columbia years. I don't even know if I'm going to like whatever these V recordings are. I don't know if we're going to like that, So anyway, that's where I'm at. So let me know what's going on here. Folks, hi, James. Good afternoon. Good luck with selling your Lennon collection. When you say, the CD collection, listen, people who are joining me late, I just sold 6 Lennon CDs because, there's no reason for me to have them with my thinking right now. I have John Lennon CDs over there. I have John Lennon CDs out there. And I have the John Lennon, the official ones now that come out with the remastering from Sean Lennon and his team. I mean, I don't need the Japanese John Lennon CDs too. The only reason I have them is because isn't this cool to have them? Some things are cool to have, man. Like I've said, I have this handy, so I'm showing you. Yeah, it's cool to have this Jaws item. This is a Jaws collectible. Okay, some things I'm still going to have just because it's cool to have. I'm looking around. I don't have anything else handy, but they're around this somewhere. Some things are cool to have, but I don't need everything anymore. Believe me when I tell you. But again, that's collector's addiction, right? So you might want to watch my show. Don't forget to watch my show that I did the first episode of called Collectors Anonymous. It is indeed an addiction like Alcoholics Anonymous. I like the Steely Dan. I like a lot of. I say a lot of stuff. I like stuff from them. And that album, Can't Buy a Thrill. Of course, I appreciate that album. Hello, Robbie. Good afternoon to you, sir. Glad all of you could join me today. And I bought a lot of stuff today on the other channel, my TV and movie channel. I can talk about at another time. I picked up the 5 seasons of I Dream of Jeannie. Anybody like I Dream of Jeannie, the TV series? I have them all sealed. Don't say it's 2 or 3 songs. Well, when it comes to Steely Dan, I think I like 4, maybe 4 or 5. I'm not interested in mobile for no. I don't get into that MoFi stuff. As a matter of fact, in my store today was up the big silver box set, Frank Sinatra LPs, Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab, and I have no interest in that. Never was interested in mobile fidelity, really. I love me some of that Steely Dan. Got all but I think 2 of their albums on vinyl myself. Can't Buy a Thrill got kind of pricey. Yeah, I noticed that for whatever reason. That one I'm missing. Yeah, maybe it's because it's the most desired album. Yeah, it's the way I am these days. I'm satisfied with it on CD. It's a video I'm going to make down the line again because you might notice some of you. Nobody's really been bringing it up, but I've noticed. A lot of my views have gone down the last few days, and that's to be expected because I'm not doing Beatles all the time. This is still first and foremost a Beatles related channel, but it's not only Beatles. And I believe that eventually things will pick up again because I'm trying to cultivate this into being a little more versatile than it is. That's what I'm trying to do. Some people like it. Some people don't like that. Can you do? You may lose some diehard Beatle fans, but you gain other people, I guess. I don't know. Curious what people think of that. It is what it is, man. I'm gonna let it ride it out. There you go. Steely Dan's greatest hits is great. All I need from them. The only CD I have is a 2 CD set of Frank Sinatra's greatest hits. There you go. I have that too somewhere. I have like the hits compilation somewhere too. I have a 4 CD box set, Citizen Steely Dan, that has the music from all their albums up to 1980 included. Hello, Penny Lane. Thanks. Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy them. And another thing about those, look, I make it clear that I prefer jewel cases. Well, of course, the Frank Sinatra Capitol box set that I have of the 14 albums or however many there were in there, they're miniature albums in the cardboard, CD covers, 5-inch. And I love them. I'm not going back on what I said. I can't stand cardboard compared to jewel cases, but these are all housed in an outer box in there, so it's cool. I would show it. I have it right out there, but I want to save it for a video. I have a video coming tomorrow. The Frank Sinatra box set will not be in that video. I already have one all finished before I bought that. There's going to be another video that has to do with CD collecting, CD boxes, CD sets, some CD sets that I picked up that you might not have heard about yet or seen, and that's going to be a video for tomorrow, so I hope you'll check that out. Whether you're interested in the artist or not, it's fun too. I do that. Even if it's an artist I don't really care that much about, it's so cool to see some of these CD sets and vinyl sets. I think Can't Buy a Thrill got expensive because people have been listening to Only a Fool Would Say That a lot. Okay. A jewel case is way better than a cardboard for the most part. I agree. Not everybody does, but I agree. But when they make them like that, where it's like the actual album, looks like the actual album with miniature size, thin, and they're in a box. That's not bad. Some cardboard's nicer than others, though. The mini replica LPs and the Beatles mono, that's what I mean, stuff like that. The Beatles mono CD box are pretty nice, those replicas. And they include inner sleeves for the CDs. Yeah, those are cool. And like Robert P., Robert P. made some really, really, really nice facsimiles of album covers that way. To me, for most artists, I like their greatest hits. They fill the need for their material. Uh, Excuse me. For me, for most artists, I like their greatest hits fill the need for their material. I'm proud of that. I don't, depends who it is. I don't sit there and I don't need everything by Spanky and Our Gang. I don't even think I need anything by Spanky and Our Gang. But I mean, Someday Will Never Be the Same is the only thing I like. I think there's a song Lazy Day or something. I really only like the only song I ever heard from them that I like is Someday Will Never Be the Same. And even that I'm not wild about. Okay, so in fact, I think the name of Spanky and Our Gang's hits collection is it like Spanky and Our Gang Greatest Hit? It says that, and it has a parentheses S. They know they only have one hit, I guess. Yeah, so this is, I find it interesting that, I'm opening up a lot of discussion lately here and in my videos on all kinds of music. And, it's like, but like I said, get used to it because that's what I'm going to be doing. There's still going to be Beatles everywhere. When there's Beatle news, new Beatle items, there's going to be a lot of Beatles. I said I was going to get stepping up with more solo Beatles album reviews this year, and I will. The year is young. I've been doing a lot of other things I said I would. I started the Collectors Show, Collectors Anonymous, and other things on the other channels I'm taking care of. The difference between cardboard and jewel case is if the card falls down, it will not break, but jewel will break. But the difference is, Douglas, that with a jewel case, if it breaks, you just buy a new blank jewel case and put the slip in the artwork, brand new. So it doesn't matter if a jewel case breaks. You just get a blank jewel case. That's the beauty of it. If you have a damage, a bent corner, or something gets dirty or ripped or crumbly on the cardboard, you can't replace it. It's shot for life. Think about it that way. Jewel cases are the most practical for most CDs. They're easy to use, look good, and if it's accidentally cracked, you can replace it. And it looks like new. We are on the same page with that. With Digipacks, the spindle that holds the CD breaks, you're screwed. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, cheers, folks. Once more, cheers. All right. See anything coming up? I've been doing a lot of live shows lately. I've been doing, and a lot, and have a lot of weekly ones. Don't forget, Monday I'm going to have the movie show, Movie Mondays with Mayo. That's over at my Mr. Cinemayo channel. Every Monday night we do a movie show over there, and then Wednesday over at my third channel, which is called, of course, Mayo Loves Mondays. Over there, I'll be doing the Weight and Wellness show that I do on Wednesdays. Are you obligated to keep Watertown? Not to me, I'm not. No offense, George, but as it stands right now, because I'm getting into Sinatra more, trying to anyway, I'm realizing, well, of course, I said that Watertown was kind of, laid back and a little depressing and all this and moody and all that, solemn. Well, he did a lot of that. The Lonely Album, he did a lot of that, a lot of brooding music that was frank anyway. I just thought his voice was better then than it was in 1970 with Watertown. But the bottom line is I'm going to hold on to Watertown. I'm going to hold on to it. It's not going anywhere for the foreseeable future. What's going on? How you doing, Mike? Oh, Digipack talk. I know Doc feels the same as me. Yeah. No offense taken, and I still say there's a great album. You still say it's a great album, and the majority of people agree with you. In this case, it's me who's like the lone wolf, or, not the lone wolf. I'm in a singular sense, but I'm in the minority. Paper CD sleeves often scratch the CD. I have the Japanese style plastic inner sleeves, so like cardboard. CD sleeves. Good point there. All right. Sorry to bother you. I wish one day it'll happen. I'm saying that to the neighbor upstairs. I hear somebody in a similar, I guess there's a similar room upstairs trying to do their thing, and I'm over here. not when I live in an apartment, not only do I not want anybody bothering me with their noise, I don't want to bother them with mine. That's why eventually when I get out of here, eventually next month I'll be in this place next month. I'll be here 11 years. 11 years I'll be in here. I must admit, to me, he sounds the same in Watertown as he does in No One Cares. But I guess that comes from me not being incredibly familiar. Well, I'm not incredibly familiar either. So, Stormy Weather is a song I like from that other album. I heard it on Sirius XM by chance. Yeah, I know that song. Joe, which parts did you like in Woody Allen's Bananas? I watched it recently. It still makes me laugh. I didn't like Bananas, but my favorite scene in the movie that I remember was the one when he's on a train and he's like, some old lady's getting mugged on the train and he's sitting there hiding behind a newspaper, shaking, hope to try and he doesn't help her. He's just like sitting there hoping that they don't bother him. As I remember that, to me, that's the only funny thing I remember in Bananas. It was too political for me, that one, if I remember correctly. What do I prefer? One After 909, 63 or 63 version or 1969 version? That's a tough one. I guess I got to say 1969. I prefer because it was the official one that was released. But I do enjoy 1963 too, even though he never got it right. And there are a few outtakes of the Beatles trying to do it in '63. It's fun. They're fun to listen to. You know. Okay. Sorry. Just waiting for the comments to come. If there are going to be any more. I could always start going live once a month if you prefer. You know, sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder. uh, Somebody asked me this question before. The song "Junk" would have been perfect on the White Album. It's perfect. It would have fit on the White Album fine. Should it be on there? No, I'm fine. You got to have something on the McCartney album. The McCartney first solo album, I still say it's not among my favorites. And the songs that are proper songs like "Junk" and "Every Night" and "Man We Was Lonely" and uh, maybe I'm amazed are too few. There's a lot of noodling and playing around and goofing off on instrumentals on it. So hey, I love it for what it is. It's just not among my favorite McCartney albums personally. But leave Junk alone on there, because you need some more proper songs on there. Yeah, there's not something. That's the thing. You see, if you go live too often, you run out of things to talk about. Okay, Sinatra's reprise albums up to 1968 are also great listens. The concert Sinatra and whatever those that says are standouts also. Okay, I heard a Sinatra live album being played at my record store today, and I didn't like it. I'll tell you that. I think whatever it was, there was an opening act playing on it. I think the concert was from 1959. I might have saw that, or that's when the album came out. Whatever it was, I didn't like the sound of that. I'm not going to love everything, that's for sure. Hello, Elliot. What's the good word? In Good Morning, Good Morning, is you go to a show, you hope she goes about Yoko. I don't think it's so at all. I don't think Yoko was figuring into the songs then. No, I don't think so. I think that's just a very generic thing. Do you still have all the albums you bought from your popular vinyl collection in shrink wrap video? I haven't checked that video in a while, but I'm thinking no. There's a lot of vinyl I bought that I don't have anymore. That McCartney looked super nice, even though that particular one wasn't in shrink. Yeah, I think I have that. Do I have that? I might have that one. Exactly. Frank did it his way. Exactly. As much as I love Elvis even more vocally more than Frank even, I'd much rather hear Frank Sinatra sing My Way than Elvis, because I always say I love Elvis, I love you Elvis, love you Elvis. However, Elvis didn't do it his way. He did it the Colonel's way. He completely surrendered to the Colonel. So when Elvis sings I did it my way, sorry El. It sounds great, you sing it great. Okay. George Smith says, Leave That Junk Alone was by Johnny Cash on Sun. What is the weakest opening track on a Beatles album? Well, I have to think of every album. It's not Please Please Me. It's not with the Beatles. It's not a Hard Day's Night. It's not Beatles for Sale. It's not Help. Wow, this is incredible. Rubber Soul. I'm going by the UK albums. So far, it's Drive My Car for me. But let me see. Taxman, Sergeant Pepper, Becky Saw. I'm gonna go with Drive My Car as the weakest opening track. And before anybody says, "How dare you say that? I love Drive My Car." Well, then what do you pick as the weakest opening track on a Beatles album? Not counting Yellow Submarine, the soundtrack album. Hello, Walkman 67. What's going on? Are you going to see Elvis epic concert film? Yes, I am. Yeah, I want to see it. I just have to get my dates down. I got to see what date I'm going to go. Oh, I forgot Magical Mystery Tour is beautiful. That's to me, it's a great thing. Roll up for the Mystery Tour. We're going to take you away. It's great. It's great, and it may be my favorite Paul McCartney concert opener too. Well, it's tied. Magical Mystery Tour and Hello Goodbye for Paul. I like Tony Bennett and others, but no one compares to Frank. I don't know. Bing. I like Bing and Dean. I don't know. I'm loving the new Elvis Presley single, Wearing That Nightlife Look. I have not heard it yet. I've heard about it, but it's again, isn't it like doctoring stuff up and doing things right again? Sort of like Now and Then. I think You Can't Do That should have been in A Hard Day's Night. As much as I love that song, I don't mind them leaving it out of A Hard Day's Night. What I think the song should have been in there is, let's see, Anytime at All should have been in there, because if it could have been in there, I don't know when these things were. I'm losing time now when they were recorded and everything. During the scene when Ringo busts out of the police station, they could have put Anytime at All. There's the lyrics, Anytime at all you got to do is call it, I'll be there. The Beatles are going in there trying to break their friend out of jail. They could have used Anytime at All when they break out, instead of using another second time of Can't Buy Me Love. I also think when they were doing the concert scene at the end, they could have had, they should have done I'll Be Back maybe, or Things We Said. I think Things We Said Today would have been good in the concert scene instead of playing again. I should have known better again. If I fell again. I enjoyed your spit video. I can't wait for number 2. Over at my Mayo movie channel, my friend Danny and I, we did a show called I Spit on Your Stream, which is an awkward title, but it's a takeoff on the horror movie called I Spit on Your Grave. And what that was us talking about hardcore horror films, axe films, slasher films, and things like that. So thank you. I'm glad that you like that. Dean Martin is way better than Frank, in my opinion. Bing, Crosby, and Dean are good, but Frank is the top. I love Magical Mystery Tour, but it's weaker than Drive My Car. Well, I don't agree, but I welcome your opinion. Thank you. Frank is overrated. He was good, but he drones on. And I honestly don't understand the success he got when others were way better singers, even in his time. That's interesting because although I appreciate Frank Sinatra, I haven't listened to a lot. And I know Frank, but I haven't listened to all his albums. I'll give you a more rounded opinion once I listen to everything more. But yeah, I always thought, he's all right, but yeah, I think there might have been other better singers. I don't know. I don't know. I can't. It's too early to say, so don't mark this down as a official comment yet. Which side of the White Album overall is the best? My favorite sides of the White Album are 1 and 3. Okay, I don't know if I prefer. If I had to pick only one side of the White Album, oh boy, that's a tough one. It might be side 1, and then side 3. Opinions, please. What do you think? Hello. How about doing a series on first time spins for solo Beatles album? Yeah. When I was reading this, Jim, I thought to myself, wait a second. What Beatles solo albums have I not listened to? And you made a point there. Stuff like those offbeat albums, like the Fireman Rushes, and actually, I've heard Life with the Lions, I think, but I've said for a long time now. Eventually, I'm going to make a series where I talk about those albums. Two Virgins, which I've heard. Life with the Lions, the Rushes album, Electronic Sound with George. What else we got? Wonderwall, maybe, and maybe even Apple Jam, because believe it or not, as I always say, I've never played the Apple Jam from All Things Must Pass. My late father was a Sinatra fanatic. I took him to the Garden to see Sinatra before my dad passed. That sounds nice. Side 4 is a certain elephant in the room, that one track. I do like side 4, but not all of it. Side 3, there you go. Life with the Lions is miserable, sure is. In the Guys and Dolls film, there was a really big power struggle between Brando and Sinatra. Yep, I'll bet. I've been binge watching Frasier as well. So have I. We're up to season 2. We're in season 2. What an amazing show. Danny is wrong. He can keep Roseanne. I agree with you. Yeah. I don't love every episode of Frasier, by the way. Frasier isn't a home run every episode. For me, Frasier has moments that I like. And my favorite moments are usually moments with relating to the father, Martin, kind of like contrasting the two sons, Frasier and Niles, how they're different. The three of them are different. That's probably my favorite thing about the show. Two Virgins is more listenable than Life with the Lions. Is Wildlife the weakest Wings album? I have to say, I think it is, but I still enjoy it for what it is. I enjoy Wings Wildlife for what it is, but something's got to be the weakest, and I think a lot would agree. Frasier has aged well. Okay. Did you like Cheers? Yes, I did, but I haven't seen Cheers in a long time. I really think somewhere along the line, I wouldn't mind picking up a complete series of Cheers. Cheers, the complete series or something, and watching all Cheers episodes. Yes, the dog on Frasier, Eddie, is very, very, very talented. I know he's trained well, but he's a scene stealer. A scene stealer. He's very good. The dog. Frank had a larger-than-life magnetism that other artists lacked. Back to Frank Sinatra. Not just singing ability, but presence and the way he commanded an audience. Yeah, I do like Everybody Loves Raymond. Yeah, I like that show quite a lot myself. I have that whole series as well. I was a fan of Happy Days. Sure, I grew up with Happy Days, and Now, the thing is, I started getting rid of that show. You talk about jumping the shark. I tried watching Happy Days, I'm going to say about 12 years ago, 12, 13 years ago. I remember because I was in my other apartment, my old apartment. My girlfriend and I went through the series, and I had season 1, which is great, season 2, 3. When we got to season 4, it started getting too stupid for us. So I think I pretty much say I like Happy Days seasons 1, 2, and 3, and then after that, forget it. You know, back in the USSR was the perfect opener for the White Album, and so was Come Together for Abbey Road. Yep, Two Virgins, I listened to the whole thing, just putting it in the background. It was not good at all, but tolerable. Cambridge 69 alone, I can't handle. Is there a Beatles song you only listen to in the context of an album and don't listen to otherwise? Well, no, very few Beatles songs do I just hear. Like, in other words, let me just give you an example. Maybe I'll put on the single of She Loves You now and then. Listen to She Loves You as a single. Maybe once in a while I'll put on Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane as a single, right? But when do you ever listen to other great songs? Like, I won't listen to songs I love. Like, You Can't Do That, I don't usually listen to unless it's part of the album, but I love it. Anyway, I don't know. The question really doesn't fit. You know what I mean? The only one song is probably Revolution 9. I would never play Revolution 9 on its own unless I was listening to the White Album, in which case, when I listen to the White Album, I listen to the entire thing, including Revolution 9, including Wild Honey Pie and all the rest. Would I put them on separately? No, I don't put on many Beatles songs separately just by themselves. Don't want to sound like a stereotypical Yoko hater, but her screaming with John's guitar is the worst. Well, I can understand that. I don't particularly like hearing her scream either. I grew up treating Apple Jam as a one-sided 12-inch single, George's version of Congratulations. Okay, totally agree. Season 1 to 3 were classic. Hate the Mork for Mork. Oh my God, how bad they were. Yeah, and one of them had the Malachi Crunch. I think season 4 might have opened with the Malachi Crunch or something. They play like the racing cars and all this nonsense, and then it got better. I think I was able to watch season 4. I think I have 4 seasons. That's it. 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Happy Days, and that's it. You and Sinatra are similar in that your charisma equals your talent. Are you trying to tell me I got charisma? A lot of people out there are laughing their asses off, and some people are saying right on. That's why, after all is said and done, you can't go pleasing everyone. So screw. Yeah, not everybody can be. Thoughts on Lords of Flatbush, American Graffiti, Let the Good Times Roll, American Hot Wax. I've never seen American Hot Wax. My mother took me to the movies to see American Graffiti. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. American Graffiti is in my top 10 movies of all time. Also, Let the Good Times Roll. Now, I'm not sure. I don't know if Let the Good Times Roll played with American Graffiti. In one of these cases, they played together. I saw the Lords of Flatbush also. I like the Lords of Flatbush. Lords of Flatbush is not a particularly well-made movie, but I like it. Sylvester Stallone is in it, and and it's good. Even Henry Winkler has a role in there before the Fonz. But the thing is, Let the Good Times Roll is like a documentary about. It's like a rock and roll revival. Rock and roll revival hits, playing the hits of the 50s. And I know I saw Let the Good Times Roll along as a double bill with either Lords of Flatbush or American Graffiti. I don't know which one. I want to say Lords of Flatbush, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, that's a kind of too much information. Yes, I think Season of Glass is one of Yoko's best albums. I have not listened to all of Yoko's albums, but for people who tend to not want to give her a chance, I think Season of Glass is quite listenable, right? As is Approximately Infinite Universe, the album Fly. Do you have many CD and cassette singles anymore? Lots of unreleased tracks back then. Yes, cassette singles. I'm getting rid of cassettes in general. Cassettes are something else. I'm gonna like unload. I'm gonna unload my cassette collection at some point, but I'm gonna keep special ones. And let's see, and CD singles. Yeah, I'll save the CD singles. Yeah, you don't play Wild Honey Pie by itself. They may have a reboot of Two and a Half Men with Charlie Sheen, but John Cryer isn't interested. Angus T. Jones renounced the show. Also, did you like The Big Bang Theory? I do not like The Big Bang Theory. My girlfriend loves it. I don't like it. I can't, I don't hate it really. I don't hate it, but I don't. We watch it sometimes. I don't like it. I like watching it to look at Penny. Penny? 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 That's the only reason. And Two and a Half Men, I have to say, I do like that show. Only with Charlie Sheen. I only like Charlie Sheen. I think Angus Jones was funny as hell. I think, John Cryer and Charlie Sheen were like the new odd couple. I like that show, and I like Angus T. Jones in it. Now, it would be nice if they could do that. It would be nice if we could find out that Charlie never died. Charlie was really alive. It was all a bad dream. And they could kind of like patch it up, and we have Charlie Sheen working again with John Cryer and Angus T. Jones. But, if they could do it without Angus T. Jones, even though I like him as the son. He's all grown up now, and he moved away, so he doesn't have to be on the show. But you need Charlie Sheen and John Cryer to do it. I'm starting to like It's All Too Much more than Hey Bulldog. It's interesting you should say that. For a long time, I picked It's All Too Much as when people would say, "What's your worst Beatles song?" I'd say It's All Too Much because it was long and it was kind of awkward and a mess and all over the place. Now I love it as a psychedelic gem. I like It's All Too Much. If I like, I don't know if I like it better than Hey Bulldog. I don't think I do. I think I'd pick Hey Bulldog better if I had to pick one. But I think the only reason that I would give it preference now is because for me, It's All Too Much is not as played out. Probably It's All Too Much is the one Beatles song that, even though every Beatles song is so familiar, so etched in your brain, for me, It's All Too Much is probably the one Beatles song that's not overdone, not overplayed. I mean, I don't overplay it, and I'm not blown out by it. I'm not overdosed on it. CD singles only make sense if they're on those little mini-sized discs. CD singles don't make sense to me these days at all. But bonus tracks, CD singles make sense to me for bonus material only, really. I was a fan of the 70s, 50s revival. Even enjoyed a few episodes of the very cheesy Sha-Na-Na. Yeah, I didn't watch much Sha-Na-Na, but I know about Bowser and all that stuff. Star Piece is really a good album by Yoko. Thank you, Elliot. I have not played it. I like the cover. But I haven't played the album. I remember going to Tower Records and picking out a cassette. It would say 50 greatest hits, but would not be the original tracks. You got to watch out for that. Whenever you buy something like that, you have to make sure it says original recordings. I made a rant video on that on this channel. Make sure it says original recordings, not original artists, because it can say original artists, but that could be the original artists just re-recording it or live. It could be live or re-recorded. You want the original recordings from the day. I watched the MeTV Happy Days 30th special. Discovered I never watched it beyond season 4. Yeah, I like the special. The specials always are good to see people again getting back together and reuniting. Angus had some nerve bad-mouthing a show that made him a millionaire. Well, see, that's the thing too. You talk about the kid from Two and a Half Men. Yeah, exactly. People. Why do I always say the wrong people get blessed in this world? I mean, he was just a child. He was very young when he was on Two and a Half Men. He didn't know it, and he didn't know life yet. He didn't know how good he had it. You know what I mean? So I can't stand when they do that. But I think he got older and he got more values, and maybe he got so. I don't know if he got religion or not. Let me know about it. I can't remember if Angus got some religion in him. But what I mean is, he started to think that a show about sex and bad mouthing and toilet humor and stuff wasn't right, and he renounced the show. But whatever. I didn't know this. I didn't know that today was Al Pacino's birthday. 85. Hoo-ha. Boy, that's unbelievable. I couldn't resist. Yeah, I like Pacino, but wow. Is there any musician you prefer more when they went solo than when they were in their band? I'm sure they're Joan Jett. Joan Jett, who was in the Runaways, although I do like the Runaways. I'm trying to think, was there anybody else? I mean, there's got to be. I might say Phil Collins. I don't know. If there are any more about Neil Young, am I wrong about that? Was I'm trying to remember. I don't know if Neil Young started solo or not. I don't think so, but okay. It's all too much. It's so slow and plodding. Hey, Bulldog for the win. Re-recording albums are total BS. If you could be at any Beatle concert, which would you choose? We get this question every now and then. I oftentimes I say the Shea Stadium concert only to say I was there. You know what I mean? I realize if I was at Shea Stadium in '65, I wouldn't be able to hear anything. I wouldn't even be able to see anything because the stage was far out. But to say I was there. Other than that, everybody says the rooftop concert. I really don't know, but that's what I always say. Shea Stadium, mostly because me being from New York, it would be nice to see. I saw them at Shea, The track Star People on the Yoko Starpiece album is very David Bowie style. CD singles often had songs and special mixes unavailable elsewhere. Right. True that. Hello, Uncle Paul. Uncle Paul, check him out. His channel, and not only that, but Uncle Paul did join me along with Mikey Arugula over on my show that I did, the new one, Collectors Anonymous. So check out the Collectors Anonymous video. Check the playlists if you need to check playlists. I gotta drive that home a lot. People don't usually check playlists. There's a lot of good stuff you could get into it. Maybe binge watch some of it. The Piggy's Escher demo from Anthology 3 is too similar to the original. That's okay. What demo should have been in its place? I don't have an answer for that one. I never listened to George Harrison 33 1/3 except for this song in Cracker Box, not Cracker Jack, Cracker Box Palace. I'm trying to listen to all the solo Beatles catalog, including that one. To me, George Harrison's 33 1/3 is one of George's best albums. It's worth listening to. I've always liked It's All Too Much. It takes you to another place for a few minutes. Yeah, me too. I like how that song, shows me that I'm everywhere, but it gets me home for tea. That's what I like about it. Do you like Paul Simon over Simon and Garfunkel? Well, that's a good question, but a hard one because I like them about equally. Because Simon, and if you're going to have to ask me to pick one, I'll pick Simon and Garfunkel together. Yeah, I love Simon, and I love Art Garfunkel's voice. However, Paul Simon's got some really good solo material too. So they're kind of equal, but they're completely equal. But if you ask me by a hair to pick one, and I can only pick one, it would be the duo Simon and Garfunkel. And yes, it was religion that changed Angus's mind. Okay, nothing. I'm not against religion. I'm spiritual and I believe, but I'm just saying, you can have fun too, man. In the 80s, I was a huge fan of Joan Jett and recently tried to listen to some of her albums. And while, yes, it was a wave of nostalgia, I sadly find some of her songs juvenile, but I guess that's rock and roll. That's what I've said. I don't know if you heard me say that, but that's what's happening to me, too. When I first got into Joan Jett, I was 19. And I appreciate how hard the woman rocked. And she was a real hard rocker. And that's what I love about her. She loves, exudes, breathes rock and roll music. And that's her whole life. And it shows in everything she does. However, when I listen to some of the albums now, I do feel like it's school time or something. I mean, by the time I discovered Joan Jett, I was out of school, but I was out of high school, but it's kiddie time. But I still respect her immensely. Hello, James Farley. There you go. I hated it when a CD said oldies sung by the original artist, but in the fine print it says new recordings. You got to watch out for that. It has to say original recordings. I love Collectors Anonymous. Thank you. I got some good notices on it or whatever. People liked it. I've already watched it a couple of times. Also, I spit on your stream. Great new shows to kick off 2026. Thank you. I'm trying to, we're only 2 weeks into 2026. I'm trying to keep it moving. I've got 3 channels to maintain and trying to do different things. That's why, I wouldn't mind getting people's honest opinion. I mean, I made a notation that, here early on in 2026 on the Mean Mr. Mayo channel, I did change some stuff. I veered off Beatles for a while. I'm talking about other artists, talking about Frank Sinatra. I'm doing a few other things and then coming back to the Beatles. I'll always come back to the Beatles. This channel will always be predominantly Beatles, first and foremost. But I'm going to get other stuff in there. I mean, I've been doing this for 14 years. This May, I'll celebrate my 14th YouTube anniversary this May. And Beatles are great. I'll never stop with the Beatles. Don't worry about that. However, there's other music out there and there's other audiences out there because, I'm gone as far as I could go without growing. And if it means that at first I'll have to take some hits and I'll have to confuse a few people will sign out or leave, whatever. Hopefully new people will come in. There's always going to be Beatles content here. Do you think the fest for Beatles fans might be over or any chance it might be overhauled? It seemed like it was kind of dying for a while, I think, and I really don't know. I mean, I have no idea if they can really continue it and do it right and make it more successful going forward. They're not having it, as they're not having a show this year in 2026. If they could start it new and revamp it and make it more fun and exciting and more affordable and do it all right and do the show for a big anniversary, the 60th anniversary of the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper, the Summer of Love, 60 years later, 1967 to 2027. If they can do that, maybe it'll succeed. The 3-inch When We Was Fab, George Harrison single, has a complete ending where the song is played backwards. Very cool. I don't even know if I knew that, Elliot. When I watch the original anthology, I enjoy the early episodes more, but I prefer the music from the later years. That's interesting. This September, I will have been subscribed to your channel for 8 great years. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody who's subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. The horror stream with Danny is my favorite stream I've seen of yours yet. Well, make sure he knows that because, he's feeling a little down about it. And Danny, if you're watching, you heard that. I don't expect a show like that. Once again, the title right now, it could be subject to change in the future. The channel, the name of the stream right now is called I Spit on Your Stream, after the movie I Spit on Your Grave. It's a takeoff on that title. And I may change the title, but I knew it would never do that great because not many people are into extreme horror films. Some horror films, old-fashioned ones. I'm waiting for your Shoelace channel. Wink, wink. I hear you. I know what you're doing. I see what you did there. Yeah. The Manchester 63 show was professionally filmed. Is the whole show available? I've only seen. I don't know. This is when you have one of those embarrassing moments as a Beatle expert, where you might not know. I think I've only ever heard and seen the footage that we always see, the color. When you move your content back and forth between channels, I sometimes think it's a new video, but it's from months ago. Yeah, that's true. I'm doing that. I'm moving a lot of the material here, the rant videos especially, some rants, and rant videos that have to do with life and frustrations and getting along in the world and everyday irritants. I'm moving some of those rants over to the other channel. Once more, I'm going to put the title up here. Don't forget to subscribe to it. It's Mayo Loves Mondays, where I put up all kinds of things about life, living, and including rant videos and getting really annoyed dealing and coping with everyday irritants that we all can relate to and we all have to deal with. If you ever have to deal with getting gypped at the store, or anything, waiting online too long, or the doctor giving you the wrong appointment, whatever it is, your medicine getting screwed up, any of these things in life, That's what that's about. Okay. Hello, Ramoga. I know you thought I was going to do the Ramoga theme, but I'm not feeling it today. So I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not feeling it today. Let's see what we got here. Okay, I believe they should make the Fest for Beatles fan an overall music feast with a focus on the Beatles. I believe it would draw a larger crowd and gain more younger fans. When you say overall music feast, I see what you're saying, but yeah, for me personally, I like it to be more than just that. I know you're not a fan of The Simpsons, but did you watch the 3 episodes with Ringo, Paul, and George? Yeah, I remember the Ringo one. He wrote a letter, his favorite color and everything. I think I saw the clips. I saw all the clips at one point. I don't necessarily remember them all, but years ago, I bought a Ricky Nelson Best of CD. It turned out to be a re-recording. He appeared out of breath. I was disappointed. I love Traveling Man. Yeah, I like Ricky Nelson. And I think I have a Ricky Nelson CD of his best. And yeah, I like a lot of his stuff. I like his voice. I like his style. I don't know if mine's re-recorded or not. That's the only thing. Okay, quality control wasn't great even in '95. I picked up the LP edition of Anthology 1, brand new, and the needle skipped in the middle of Free as a Bird. In addition to the record being slightly warped, vinyl. Here we go. I like old vinyl. Give me old vinyl, 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, but vinyl quality control sucks now. It just sucks. I know there's people out there listening to me who still buy vinyl as their number one go-to, and God bless you. I think Alan C. Records, shout out to Alan if he's out there. I know you tend to buy, if it's something new you want, you buy the vinyl. I don't know, man. Have you ever been disappointed? Let me know. Danny should not be down. He brings a lot to each stream. Yeah, including the horror one. It's the horror one that he's upset about. I drove by the old hotel in Secaucus, New Jersey, where the Beatle Fest once was. It's completely closed and locked up. Yeah, I miss that place. I really do. Manchester 63 footage was a highlight of 8 Days a Week, the documentary. Hold Me Tight was recorded for the Please Please Me album. It could have been used. I'm trying to remember, but here we go again. I know they tried to do Please Please Me, but I think I know they tried to do Hold Me Tight early on, but I thought they couldn't get it right. And when the version that's on with the Beatles, isn't that a re-recording? Like, did they try it again new? It wasn't left over? Let me know. I enjoy all 3 of your channels. Thank you for your videos and live streams. Well, thank you. As I say, I'll say this everywhere I can because I need some attention over there at those channels. All 3 channels are a part of me. It's about me. It's about Joe Mayo. It's about what I do, what I like, my hobbies, the way I live, the way I think. If you like that, if you just like the Beatles, then stay here. But if you want to try, if you want to try like all facets of me, it's a trilogy, 3 channels. This Boy or Another Girl. Well, while I would say that This Boy is the superior song, I would listen to Another Girl every day and twice on Sundays of the week over This Boy every time. I think I bought the same Ricky Nelson CD. I got rid of it fast. I think I have a Rhino one. I hope that's not the one. The hotel in Secaucus was the best place for the Beatle Fest. I agree. Tucker and Dale versus Evo review with you and Danny would be great. That's not a bad idea. I have that. You know what? That's a good suggestion. I'll see if he wants to do that, if he has it. I'm a huge fan of the film, and it made me laugh out loud several times. Okay. Well, somebody burned me a copy of that, so we'll see. Do you like the McCartney track, When the Wind Blows? Why am I drawing a blank? Where is When the Wind Blows from? Hello, Ghosty. What's going on? I'm with you on the Big Bang Theory. I tried it because a friend said, oh, these guys are just like you. Really? Gee, I hope I'm more fun than those characters. Mildly amusing show at best. Well, that's another thing. They also, make everybody out to be a nerd or a geek. if they like these kinds of things. Some people are. I'm not. I'm not saying I'm cool either. Hey, I'm not Joe Cool, but I feel I'm neither a cool, whatever the word is these days, a cool guy or a nerd. I think I'm just an average guy. In school, I was never the cool guy, and I was never the geek that they picked on. I was always just there in the middle. Okay. Tucker and Dale is Kim's favorite. I fell asleep. I wondered if this is who I think it is, but let me know. This isn't Al, is it? I don't know. I'll find out. If we ever get to hear Carnival of Light, I worry it will disappoint. It's supposed to suck, okay? Whoever's heard it, I think Mark Lewison has heard it, and maybe one other person, they said it's so bad that it makes Revolution 9 look good, okay? There's nothing good about the song by all reports of this song, okay? So it's not going to disappoint you. I mean, it'll disappoint you if you never heard any bad news about it. If you've never heard any bad news, it'll disappoint you. But if you know it's supposed to suck. Okay, it's not Al. Okay, Al. I'm trying to think when you say Kim. Kim was Kim. Isn't When the Wind Blows the tune Paul wrote based on painting? Okay, I don't remember it. I have the Ram archive, but, I don't know the song, I don't remember it. I played the Ram archive once upon a time, but I don't remember it. Cheers. Okay. Have you seen the last program for Paul's Got Back tour? I picked up a copy at the Buffalo show. No, I have not. Does a new program say anything about the archive series continuing? I'm still waiting for that. Okay, George, thank you. I just found this comment. I'm sorry I missed it. The Rhino label would be the original Nelson Records. Well, that's what I figured because, the Rhino label, is more official, right? They do things that are more official. Let's see. Okay, 34 days till the Elvis movie. I'll be seeing that. I do not believe the McCartney Archives series is dead. Me either. But the thing about him is Paul is he ignores Back to the Egg just because it didn't do as well. I think, we need London Town and Back to the Egg ASAP. I'm with you on that. It's long overdue. It's like a book, tons of stuff in it. It was $60. What about McCartney telling the same story, how they wouldn't go to U.S. without a number one hit? Yep. Tired stuff. But, me attempting to find a silver lining to that, there's always people that maybe never heard it yet who aren't fanatics like us. So I think the Rick Nelson CD was the Curb label. Okay, I got to remember that. I think I have it. I really need to. I've been cataloging my CDs right now as we speak. As of 5:04 p.m. on Saturday, January 17th of the year 2026. This second. Really more into the CD thing now. But it can change tomorrow or by 6 o'clock. But anyhow, and I keep a list of my CDs and I need to get them chronicled, all of them, because I don't have all of them done yet. It's a work in progress. Is Back to the Egg the most underrated Wings album? Well, it's a cross between that, obviously, and Wildlife. It's hard to say. I would say yes, because Wings Wildlife, while I enjoy that record for what it is, a very raw, primitive, early band playing direction that Paul's in, I could easily see why they don't think that that's really that great of an album. Whereas even though I like it. Whereas Back to the Egg is a good album, and people just overlook it. That's what I think. Is the IMAX screen that much better than a regular screen? Is the sound the same? If you have an opportunity to see it in IMAX, see it in IMAX. I've seen movies in IMAX versus the regular screen. I saw Jaws in IMAX. It was much better. The sound is better. I definitely, and the screen too is bigger, I think. I would definitely recommend IMAX, Robbie, if you can see it, if you get a chance. The Beatles were booked to go to the USA before they actually had a number one. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I heard Ringo say that he's got another album. That's true. Coming out this year. I wonder if T-Bone is producing. Yes, he is. This is supposed to be like a follow-up to the successful album from last year, Look Up. Very good album. I still say it's one of Ringo's best albums. Ringo has 20 albums or a little over 20 albums. I think Look Up was maybe the second best album he ever did. Maybe the third. It's in the top three. Top three. One is always a self-titled Ringo album. But it shifts spots, number 2 and 3 for me. I like Time Takes Time very much. If you only have 3 Ringo albums, do that. The Ringo self-titled, Time Takes Time. You'd like Time Takes Time. Those who put Ringo down. It's Beatley. It's Beatley in places. And finally, Look Up. Well, to me, that was his best break. So yeah, he's supposed to have another album out. I just saw Ringo's update, video update. Now look, I always hate saying this. I love Ringo. I defend Ringo all the time when I have to with his drumming and everything. But he's finally, we always said he looks fantastic for a man who's going to be 86 this July. Ringo will be 86 this year. He looks great. He's touring. He's going to be touring again. However, just from a newsworthy point here, I detect, as somebody who's been following Ringo my whole life, that Ringo finally sounds like he's getting up there. His voice he's much slow, a little more sluggish. I know he's 86. What do you expect? I get it. I'm just telling you, not to bring anybody down, not to be critical. I'm not critical of the man. God bless him. I'm just saying I could finally hear it a little bit. That's all I'm saying. And when he laughs, it's kind of like, it's kind of like, it's very like weak. That said, I hope I'm if I get to be his age, I hope I'm half as lively as him. He does jumping jacks on stage, for God's sake. So, the new T-Rex / Mark Bolan. For a minute, I thought you meant Richard Dolan. Vinyl box set looks amazing. Paul needs new stories for his concerts. You tell him he needs everything. He needs new stories. He needs new set lists. I know a lot of you out there. God bless you. Look, you had great experiences, something you'll always remember, something you can always tell your children and grandchildren about how wonderful it was to see Paul many times this year. Power to you. You had fun. You met up with people. That's great. But I need a new set list and stories, man, to travel. If he comes around this year somewhere in my area, I don't have to travel more than like 45 minutes or something like that, or an hour. Okay, I'll put up with the same old, same old. Didn't George come to the States first in '63 to Illinois before the rest of the Beatles? Yes, he came to visit his sister, and they didn't know who he was, and they didn't know the Beatles, and supposedly George went back to the other Beatles and said, it's terrible over there. They don't even know us. It's not good. And there's a picture, maybe some of you have seen it, that I've seen circulating, a real picture, not an AI picture, because that's a whole nother rant, with George on the top, like he's on the top of the Empire State Building, and there are people there gazing on it, down at the camera and looking with the telescope and all this. None of them even know who he is. He's standing there amongst people, and he's just some schnook. It's amazing. Okay, it'll be 6 years in July since the last Paul McCartney archive box. Wow, 6 years already. If it comes back, maybe he'll jump to Chaos and Creation because it got good reviews. Well, Ghosty, I do think that's the thing. Paul always goes by how he's judged with the albums, right? When you think about it, he did release Wildlife, which didn't get good write-ups, and he did put McCartney 2 out early on in the archive series, which a lot of people didn't love. But I think in that way, he was able to put them together, McCartney 2. That's why I think if they do a double, like wings and back to the egg at the same time. Put them out together. Even put it in one. I don't like, personally, I don't like when they match things up in one. I'd rather them have their own boxes, but whatever it takes. Maybe you can like sneak in back to the egg along with the fanfare of London Town. I don't know, but yeah, he tends to make decisions on what the critics liked or didn't like, or what didn't do as well in the charts. The new Godzilla movie, -0, is to be released November 6th this year. Remind me when it comes around, James, because I do want to see it. The last Godzilla movie that came out a couple of years ago, called Godzilla -1, was one of the absolute greatest Godzilla films of all time. I consider the last Godzilla film from a couple of years ago to be as good, in some ways even better. Did I say that? The very first classic, Gojira. It is really worth seeing for Godzilla fans. What is your most prized Beatles item in your collection? Mine is a rare butcher that is one of a kind. I have McCartney's autograph. I have Ringo's autograph up there. You can't really see it. Yeah, the autographs are the most prized for me. Paul's voice was incredibly strong in '79. Love live footage of Wings from that year. I remember at the time, I was 17, and I remember a bunch of people, myself included, saying, "Oh, he sounded so hoarse. Ew, he sounds like he's losing his voice." In 1979, I remember one guy saying, "Listen, if those guys are going to get back together as the Beatles, they better do it fast. People, oh my God, his voice sounds like this." I remember him saying that. We thought that he sounded a little off in '79, you believe it or not. Well, that's how we thought. I saw Ringo in concert in 2012, but he was youthful. He still is, for his age, is 2013. Okay. Ringo said in a '76 interview he would live to be 87 years old. Specifically, he's 87. And I Love Her, If I Fell. Which do you prefer? I prefer And I Love Her. I think And I Love Her is one of Paul's masterpieces. He's had many. As much as I love John, and John is my guy, he's my favorite Beatle, I got to give it to Paul. And I Love Her blows away If I Fell. If I Fell is damn good too. I got to rephrase that. I don't want it to sound like I think If I Fell sucks. It doesn't. It's good, very good. But And I Love Her, compared to If I Fell, much better. Great YouTube videos of Paul McCartney and Bob Weir performing High, High, High and Helter Skelter. That's good to hear if it's real. I guess, is it real? I was lucky enough to meet Louise Harrison and get 2 autographs in 1999 at the Beatle Fest in the Meadowlands. Yeah, she made her way around. Yes, definitely. Have to get going. Have a great night. You too, James. Much appreciated. I'm going to be signing off soon, folks. In fact, just a couple more if we have any more comments, and then I'll shorten it now, an hour 15 or so. All right, and we'll wait for a couple more comments. And I just want to remind you of what's coming up here. And it's hard to get it all in my mind. Sometimes I have to write it all down. There's a lot of things to say. You got to get the right shows in your mind on the right channel. And yes, it's real. The Bob Weir and High, High, High. Very cool. Okay. Hey, Joe, you said in a few videos that you didn't care for Elvis Costello that much. What do you think of his and McCartney stuff? I don't like it. I honestly think that's some of my. I'm just not into it. I don't like the McCartney stuff. I mean, I don't hate it. It's okay. Like, I enjoy My Brave Face and I enjoy some other songs. And I remember, I think I like some of the outtakes or demos. The demos of some of the Elvis Costello and McCartney songs better than the ones that were on there. My favorite collaboration, I think, with them would be Back on My Feet. I like to think Back on My Feet was good. Okay. Any streams tomorrow? No. I need a day off. So as far as I know, no streams tomorrow. Are you more Felix or Oscar? It depends on the topic. In some ways, I'm a little bit of Felix. In some ways, I'm a little bit of Oscar. That's the truth. That's not a cop-out. That's the truth. I'm like both of them. I think most of us relate more. I relate more to Oscar. I don't mean a slob. I mean, Oscar always seems like the guy that thinks that's more a normal guy, and Felix is the one that's more annoying. But I can be annoying too. Do you think? You think? So I don't know. Tonight's dinner menu, rotisserie chicken. We picked up a rotisserie chicken yesterday, and I know that they're not perfect, and we're going to cook it tonight. Okay. All right. So thank you all for being here, and I want to tell you what's coming up if you want to stick around. Again, don't forget, please, this is a trilogy. Joe Mayo is a trilogy. There are 3 channels. The first one is this one that you're on right now. I'm going to flash them again. The second channel is down here. It's called Mr. Cinemayo. It's movies. It's TV. It's nostalgia. It's pop culture. It's autograph collecting. It's comic book collecting. It's all, you don't know what's going to come on. It's movie reviews. It's all kinds of stuff. You got to check it out. Okay, then you're talking about the other channel. The third one, which I'm really trying to grow, is called Mayo Loves Mondays. This is a little different. This is more about living life, dealing with everyday situations. I happen to be retired. By the way, you don't have to be retired to watch Mayo Loves Mondays. You don't have to be an old guy, or but I do rant videos there. A lot of people here have told me they like the rant videos when I go off on things that piss me off and stuff. And some people laugh and say, "Yeah, I know what you mean. I can relate to that. I hate that too." So sometimes we get a laugh out of it. I do that over there. Mayo Loves Mondays. Talk about trying to stay on the wagon when it comes to eating better and trying to make the most out of later years of retirement. So Mayo Loves Mondays is more of a lifestyle channel, and the 3 of them combined are all about me. And you really never know what video is going to be on what channel. It's the truth. So why not? You got nothing to lose. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. You just subscribe to the 3 channels, and then every time there's a video, hit the notification bell so you get notified. Every time there's a video, it'll pop up. If you like the topic, you watch it. If it doesn't interest you, X out of it, skip it. That way you get the whole menu of whatever it is on my so-called mind. Thank you all. You're all the best. Thanks, everybody.